He was
everybody's
ready.
ears. What a weekend in OKC. Hunter Zarbanicki, Austin Rose, Dakota Freetag. It's not a dream, fellas. It's reality. Nebraska is in the Sweet 16 and will face the Iowa Hawkeyes of all teams to go to the Elite Eight. It's unbelievable. It's the craziest weekend of my sports life. I got to see both of you, one of each for each game.
There you go.
You made the trip to OKC. I don't even know where to start. It just an incredible weekend.
One, I would say as far as Husker events, okay, we'll get your opinion here too, Hunter. Dak, you can hop in, I guess, as an Oklahoma team
Well,
opinion.
I'm not sure my nuts have still dropped down from my throat from him. That guy's freaking half court shot. I'm still not sure that thing didn't go in.
Okay, well,
your nuts Hunter, down your throat. That's great.
Hunter, you were at both games. The atmosphere at game one, which I was at, Dak was at game two. I'm assuming game two was better than game one because it was a Saturday night game. Would that be a correct statement?
Yes. In the way, I mean, the whole experience of Saturday obviously ended up being better.
But is that because of the game being a better game?
I would not say that. I would say night. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if we want to compare the two, both were incredible. Thursday.
I just want to know what I missed out on. You know, that's what I really want.
You missed out
a lot.
But, I mean,
a lot.
Whatever. I mean, the end of the game and the post-game celebration, all of that stuff was best in a lifetime ever as a Husker fan, any sporting event. But what I'm saying is the game itself, like that Troy game, we cheered every possession because we just kicked their ass the whole time. So
right. I described it to people.
There were some moments where you're like, we kind of had to get the crowd rejuvenated a couple of times. Like that happened in that Vandy game, and there was a lot of booing of the refs, which I may or may not have participated in. But the
wow.
The whole encompassing of Saturday was by far the best day of my Husker sports life.
That was my follow-up. Because I'd say game one was probably my favorite Husker sporting experience, and we killed them. It was a 30-point.
And that's day number 2. Thursday was day number 2 of my Husker sport life. So,
Dak, would you like to add in your comments for Saturday?
You know, we've been saying a lot this year. Me and Hunter, we went to the Oklahoma game. We said that was the best game we've ever been to for basketball wise. Then we went to the freaking Michigan State game, which I still think Oklahoma was better than that. But we said that was up there, the best game we've ever been to. This Saturday game, by far, I don't think there'll be anything in my life I'll go to that was better than that.
Until Thursday against Iowa.
Until Thursday against Iowa, yeah. And we're including all sports, correct? You're not talking
about absolutely. Easily.
I agree.
Again, there's been just fun home football games that I've been to. Yeah, a few. There's been little to none road games I've been to that have ended this way too. There's been some fun atmospheres, don't get me wrong, from a road environment standpoint, but this was just all of it on steroids. I mean, the Oklahoma game was great up in Sioux Falls, and that was incredible. Like I'm like, there's nothing like this. Well, this was that, like, just take that
times 100
5 because of the arena size and the takeover. It's hard to even describe and explain, especially our age when we didn't live any of the glory football days in the 90s where this was these kind of moments. Not to say they happened often, but there were just these things that were really good. Like we haven't lived that. This is the first time in our life that we're like got to celebrate like this, and because of something really good that happened.
Well, so I actually rode down with my father-in-law's cousin. So I rode down with a 63-year-old for the Thursday game. And he said it was probably a top 3 Husker event that he's ever been to. And he said College World Series when the Huskers made it. And then he was at that, and he was also at the Miami Orange Bowl championship game. And he's like, it's right up there with those two. And I was like, damn. And he's been to a lot of games. It was crazy.
I guess I don't even know. I think the best way to do this podcast is just kind of like recap my week, I guess. But Austin was joined for part of it, and then obviously we can talk about the game when we get to it. But I think it's more storytelling and just sharing the experience. I think I want to enjoy this, and before we move on to Iowa and talk about what's next to come here in the Sweet 16. To start, I guess I went down on Wednesday night, and we got a hotel north side of OKC and got up bright and early and headed down to downtown to see what was happening. There was one bar that we found that was the Nebraska spot to go to, and I think everything else was closed. Thursday morning. Now, the city of OKC, you're welcome, first off. But you got to be a little bit smarter with what you were. I mean, I get it. You can't prepare for what happened, but at the same time, very, 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 very unprepared. I don't think any bar was open besides that one on Thursday.
I was amazed at how few bars were open. Like, I think you're right. I think it was maybe there might have been one other one that I saw online, but
yeah, I don't know that like the Bricktown area was open, which we'll get to that later. So Social Capital's on the southwest side of the arena, kind of across the park. The Bricktown area is on the northeast side. So both about a 10-minute walk, 5-10-minute walk, very close to the arena. This bar, we're walking up at about 8:20, and there's already a line of about 75 to 100 Husker fans outside. We jump in line, we get in the door, we get a pretty good spot up top. 4 people working the entire bar.
Yeah.
They had a downstairs and an upstairs, pretty spacious. I mean, I would compare it to.
It was a big, yeah.
I mean, I would compare the upstairs is bigger than Barry's in Lincoln, or very similar, I think, to what Barry's has up on the rooftop. And the basement, I mean, pretty good sized area. 4 people working. They had no idea what was coming. Within minutes, that place was flooded with Husker fans. They had to pull out some old containers from the back and start throwing whatever beer they could find in it and selling them like from random stations. They were calling people to come work it from that weren't working that day. They weren't going to open the upstairs bar until 9. Well, then 9 came around. They didn't have a bartender because they were so busy downstairs. They finally got the upstairs bar open, but lines were just crazy. I ended up buying like a 12-pack of High Noons just out of the container, like unwrapped.
Because they were out of beer. They were
out of beer. Like we couldn't get anything to drink. And this is at 9 a.m., 9:30 before the 11:40 tip. They weren't ready, and they at all for it. They had no idea what to expect. And I mean, I don't think we did either, but I'm not surprised. Like I'm like, yeah, this is it for what's open. And we ended up leaving at 10:10 to get into the arena because you could get beer there quicker. Like legitimately, right. You get in there and get beer. And that's Austin. So met Austin at Social Capital. He was also there. So
yeah, I did pretty much the same thing. We drove down Wednesday, but I did not go the whole way. I had an extra hour Thursday morning. Got there around 9. Hopped in line, waited for about a half hour to get my High Noon, and we hung out a little bit longer after you guys left. But the fans started all migrating towards the stadium. So by the time they opened the upstairs bar, it's like it's too late, guys. We're moving on, And then went to the game, and then I pieced out right after because I had things I had to do. But we hung out, watched the celebrations, wait till the arena cleared a little bit. But yeah, it was.
Well, let's talk Troy game here first.
Lace up those run shoes.
Yep. That was the half marathon bet. I'm ready. I actually got a letter in the mail today. It was like karma meant to be it from Good Life Habsy saying pre-registration is open.
Yeah.
What a great bet by Dakota. That was awesome.
So I'll be running a half marathon. I mean, rightfully so. And I'm never been more excited. We kicked Troy's ass from start to finish. It was
a great game.
One of those games to start where they, hit a couple of threes. Their 22% 3-point shooter hit 2, and they hit a 1-footer. Like we were down. I live bet us twice to win more money because I'm like, the way this game is going, we're getting anything we want on offense. We've done a couple of stupid things, and they are hitting shots that they're not going to keep hitting, and they can't get to the rim at all. So I'm like, we're going to end up blowing them out. We did. I think we beat them by 29. It was very historic. I think that was the word that I saw everywhere was history is made. Winning our first tournament game. It was an awesome environment. I mean, the Go Big Red chants, Husker Power chants,
It was so loud.
so
Oh, and
loud.
I know it was louder Saturday when they hit the two, but when I left, I talked to one of the workers in the elevator because for some reason it's impossible to find stairs in that place. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Yeah.
there's no
It's tough.
stairwell.
Yeah, it's tough.
But I had to talk to the elevator attendant. I got to talk to the elevator attendant. And she was like, that was louder than the finals games last year for the Thunder. So it was freaking loud.
Yeah. Well, my Thursday was I took off my lunch break from work. I said, all right, I might not come back. And I thought about not coming back, but then they started killing. I was like, all right, time to go back to work. And then, yeah, I just worked the second half. It wasn't
Didn't
even,
finish
it was over by that
I,
point.
okay, well, that's Dax. I want to add to my. So, one, I did see Andy Katz walking into the stadium. That was cool. But two, the way I just also described it to my coworkers was like, I know we were killing them by 20, but by 30, every shot you hit a three, you would have thought we just took the 1 point lead. I mean, everything was just people were losing their freaking minds because it was just I don't know, you
Yeah.
could just feel it. You're like, it's happening. Like we're freaking going. Like
I don't know where
man.
you guys were sitting, Austin. I would say that first game, we sat a little bit, but I mean, less than 10% of the game is where we kind of were at from sitting that first game. I'm talking about like during gameplay, right? I would say less than 10% we sat during that first game. It was every possession, every moment mattered and was crazy. Even getting a stop like up 20 was like we went nuts.
Yes. I sat a little bit more because I had like a 10-year-old local kid who just wanted to go watch the games. We were in the club level behind the basket. So I sat a little bit more because I was like, I don't want to be that guy who
Yeah.
can't see anything.
Yeah.
But I I apologize. I told him like I'm just gonna let you guys know I'm gonna be standing up quite a bit. I'm gonna try to keep it moderate to the appropriate times. I'll stand up for the big moments and sit down while But like I said, every shot I thought I mean, just oh, it was so cool. I was losing it every time. Just like it just felt every shot felt good, even though we were killing them. I didn't care.
So
It was great.
when Troy started hitting those threes early on, was the whole arena like getting worried, or was it?
No, there was some frustration, but I don't think anyone was really
People were
worried.
uneasy. I don't know anybody. I mean, it was a tight game early on, right? Like it was what it was.
Yeah.
I just I just kind of was telling people around him like we're gonna be okay. Like we're gonna be fine. The shots that they're making is not going to continue. We're getting a lot better quality. Like we're better.
Right. That you could. It was one of those games where like people like were uneasy in the sense of it was like the football that you could. It was the remnants of the football season. Like going to halftime is like I really want to be up 20.
Yeah.
Not that we're gonna blow a 20-point lead, but it's like I just want to be up 20. And then they had that terrible call that whatever they got free throws out of. But so then they went into half up 16 and just like like we're fine, but gosh, it would have been nice to be up 20. And
so that was the game. Then after that, people stayed. We stayed and actually got like third row seats mid court for the Vandy McNeese State game, which ended
how
up
much did
being
those run you?
those what my normal tickets were because I just walked down there because there's nobody there.
Oh, I see.
So the sessions. If people don't know the sessions. The two games are together in one session. So once you're in,
I thought you were talking. I thought you were moving on to Saturday.
No. So that Vandy McNeese State game, we were right there and got to watch that. I mean, Thursday afterwards, it was a big celebration day. I think a lot of people. Some people went like Austin went back, but for the most part, a lot of people probably had plans or extended their plans down there. The Bricktown area was filled with Husker fans. There's a nice little like Riverwalk canal area with several bars that Nebraska fans hung out at, and OKC's just. I'm just gonna talk about OKC in general. Like it's Lincoln, but it's like the things are Omaha, but you just don't feel like everything's stacked on. It's spread out. It's easy to get around. It's a lot of different pockets that are very close. Good restaurants. There's a lot of different bars that I thought were all very well ran. Besides not being prepared for the amount of beer they were going to sell, and I just wanted to compliment Oklahoma City as far as just everything about the city. I really enjoyed it. It was by far, I mean, all the football road games, not some of those are college towns, but in OKC is not really a college town. It was the best city I've been at too. I will say that.
I read an article in the World Herald, and they were talking about the bars and how they were unprepared for everyone down there. And the funny thing is, like, oh, there were two different quotes from different bars. Be like, "I wish someone told me about the Bush Light. No one down here ever orders Bush Lights, and it's just we ran out of Bush Light by noon on
It
Friday."
was so quick. Yeah.
I heard they had to call in like trucks of Bush Lights, like preparing for the Saturday.
And once Thursday happened, it was like once we won, everybody's like, okay, we got to be ready for Saturday. Like,
Yeah.
and so Saturday, I think things were a lot better. They were a lot more prepared. We had all day Friday. We took the time. We went down to the OKC bombing memorial, which was very neat. Like I do recommend going to that if you're in OKC. It was cool to see, and then we just kind of hung out all day and watched games. We took it very slow because we were one recovering, but two knew the next day was going to be a
Big.
day. So we went pretty slow Friday, and then
you didn't party hard watching the women's team blow an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter.
No, we did. So it was funny actually. On Friday, we stumbled upon the GOAT, which was under different ownership. One of our friends was there for a bachelor party, and they went to that same bar. It was under new ownership. They had just opened this week, and we had no idea. They opened at noon. We got there at like 11:57, and there was a small line of Husker fans waiting to get in. So we actually got a table in there and got a good spot. And it was hotter than crap out that day too. The whole time we were down there, so we had a spot inside that was somewhat cool. And so we ended up posting up there for the next 3 or 4 hours. Watched the women's game there. It was a great environment too. I tried to order a seltzer there high noon that morning. They were out of high noons from the day before, so they didn't have any of those. And then I got a Truly because beer just wasn't at my stomach, was like no beer, so I was drinking seltzers. Got a Truly. I had about 4 of those, and then they said they ran out of Trulies. So there's a high noon, okay. And I said, yeah, they're like, we just got a bunch more in. So they literally got a bunch more high noon in, like while we were there. I switched back and drank a high noon at the end. But that's the story of all the bars down there. That place was cool. And then, yeah, we took it easy. And then Saturday came around. Dak made the trip.
And here I come. Okay, first off, I want to say this. I asked a lot of people in Lincoln. I'm not going to say names. Connor, Kendall, B-Mark. You guys truly missed out on this opportunity to go. Best game ever. I hope you know you missed out. But anyway.
Did you solo drive down there, Dak?
Yes. Wow. Took off 8 o'clock in the morning. No one wanted to go with me. I was like, you know what? I'm going. So I took off, drove. I think I left Lincoln by the time I got gas and everything, about 8:30 or 9. Got down there about 3:30. By the way, the drive is not bad from here to OKC.
It's really not.
No, it's a pretty straight shot just south. Yeah, you just go. So yeah, I got down there about 3:30, and here I come stumbling in the bar. Meet Hunter there.
Yeah, so we went up at Tipsy Tiki's. That's where we got a back spot, which was nice because it was also cooler back there than being outside down by the canal. But we kind of posted up there. I went to a different bar for a little bit, which was packed. But yeah, hung out and had some fun before the game. Again, just to put it in perspective for people that weren't down there. I mean, you couldn't to get a drinks at those places. You're waiting in line for 10, 15 minutes just to get an order. Like everything was packed and rightfully so, given the situation. So anyways, that all happens. Then the game itself against Vanderbilt. I mean, you want to talk about I've heard people say, the best 4 or 5 matchup ever. I think people would argue it probably is the best game of the tournament so far. Ohio and Florida was pretty crazy last night. There have been a couple others, but as far as just start to finish, the game was close the whole time. Neither team got really to a double. I don't think either team got a double-digit lead.
I think we got to 8 points, and they got to. Did they get to 8?
5 maybe. I think might have got 5. Yeah. So it just was a back and forth game. We played. I thought offensively. I mean, they were coming up and pressuring us like Iowa did. The first time we played them, and they were very physical, way more athletic than us. The way the game was being officiated early on, where they weren't calling a lot of stuff, it hurt us. Now we then exploited it and Fred adjusted, and we got some stuff going to the rim, and we shot the crap out of the ball in the first half, and we were up by 7 going into halftime. Defensively, they shot it terribly. And I remember I went to the bathroom at halftime and hearing a Vanderbilt fan say, we're lucky to be down 7. The way that game was officiated kept us in the game. And he said, it helped us and I was like, yeah. And he said, we don't shoot that bad normally. Hopefully we shoot better in the second half. But he goes, we don't deserve to even be in this game right now. And so then second half, I thought, they came out and put a whistles on a couple of things, and the game went back and forth. They hit a lot of shots. They did. Second half, got some open shots. The game flow. It was just a really good March Madness basketball game. If you want to take a step back and look at it from a non-Nebraska fan standpoint, like it just was a good March Madness game. Then the ending, we can go through all the key plays that everybody's probably seen if you're listening to this, but the putbacks by Sam and Rank, and we can go back earlier in the game. Barricades 2 big threes that he hit, just crazy. The Leo Curtis having to come in, getting a dump down dunk in this time that he was in, and then Price just making some incredible, just 9 out of 10 out of 10 difficulty shots.
He's so freaking good coming off. Like his shot is so quick and so pretty.
I don't know, shot for my life if I'd pick Price or Tyler Nickel. I think that's what his name was. Those two are freaking. Those two are sharp shooters, and they are hitting. That was some of the toughest shots those two are hitting I've ever seen.
I was like, if we could have Tyler Nickel and Price Stanford on the same team, that'd be freaking killer.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole Price. I mean, he's incredible, and they guarded him tight the whole time. There was a couple of plays that he dribbled, and then all of a sudden, a 15-footer he hit in the second half, second part of the second half. It's crazy. And then Rank obviously getting us going, shooting the ball too. I mean, it reminded me of Oklahoma, the Oklahoma game. It really did, as far as how we were executing and scoring offensively overall. Besides, the few turnovers that we had because of their pressure. So all that up to the ending, the ending, cinema picture, all of that with the
could have been a real sad drive home.
It would have been. I'll before we get to that too, I will say that the decision to go to 1-3-1 zone there with about 7-8 minutes left, and kind of stuck with it throughout the remainder of the game in the second half. I mean, we haven't ran that much at all this year. We brought it out, but it's been very, very rare, few and far between. And it's actually a 1-3-1, but I noticed we matched up in the last 15 seconds and went man at the end. So it's kind of it was a transition zone, which I've seen more teams do. It really got Vanderbilt out of their rhythm. Now they get some buckets off of it, yes, but the people making those threes for them late were not Nickel, and it wasn't.
It wasn't
Turner or
Tyler Tanner.
Yeah, Tanner.
I'm also Trey Tanner.
So it wasn't those two guys getting shots, and so I that adjustment's incredible. Took some balls to do that, and then we get a stop there, second to last possession. Fred doesn't call a timeout. Price gets it. 2 guys run at him. Finds Frager. Frager just went and took it to the basket. I mean, again, perfect guy to do that with his confidence and his swag that he's got back now. Getting the go-ahead score-ahead basket, and then obviously the ball that was 3/4 of the way down from Tanner that didn't go in. And it was everybody just in the arena, I think, paused for like 1 to 2 seconds after it didn't go in to say, wait, we actually did just win. It didn't go in.
It wasn't a celebration right away. It took a little bit to make sure that ball didn't actually go in.
You could see, I don't know if you guys have watched I'm sure you have, because I don't know about you, but after game 1, I relived the moment for a long time, and then same thing. But Cale Jacobson, like the 3 guys that you could see on the court, they're all.
That's how the whole fan base, that's exactly. Cale was like, "Oh my God, that just happened." Okay, we won. And it was loud. So I mean, the 2 loudest moments I think was Frager making that basket. I took a step back and was like, "Whoa," because I I was still thinking I didn't cheer much after he made that basket. I just was like, oh my, I was in shock. I'm like, we still got to get a stop. Like it's not over. But I was just stunned, and my ears went, holy crap! Like this place just erupted. And then obviously after we won the game, celebrations after. So it was loud. Saturday was louder. I mean, it ended up being louder because of the way the game went at the end there. Just incredible.
Yeah, so not unfortunately, but I was in charge of the curling tournament that was going on that weekend, so I had to be there. So I watched it on tape delay. I had no idea what had happened. I knew it was a close game because when I left the arena, there was one guy on his phone, and I hear this, and it's been about 2 hours. I was like, okay, no, it's towards the end of the game, so it must be close. And then when I'm leaving, there's just a herd of people who have gathered around TVs. So, I hear muff it out. I have not looked at my phone. I will say, watching one, when I turned it on, I was like, if I have to watch us lose this freaking game and listen to Chris Webber call it, I'm gonna just put knives in my ears. That was one. But I will say, Chris Webber on the broadcast, you could tell he was dumbfounded by the Nebraska fans. Like he was like a little like in awe of what was going on. Two, the broadcast does not do the volume justice of how loud the crowd is, and it's loud on the broadcast, but it does not do it justice. But as far as the game goes, I mean, one, Tyler Tanner is freaking killing.
God, he's good.
He's good. He's really good.
So good, and it like you couldn't be upset about it because it's just he was doing. It wasn't like we were collapsing and making bad plays all the time. He was just making really good plays.
His first step is so quick. Unfortunately, a guy like that with the size, he's not going to make it, I don't think, too far in the NBA, but he's like the perfect college player.
College player.
God, he's good. He just is so good.
And then Dak, you mentioned it, Tyler Nickel, that second half when he found his shot, he was just as good as Price was from behind the arc. So
it was hands in his face too. It was all tough shots he was making.
Yeah. But it was well balanced. I mean, Barricade had over 10. We had 4 guys over 10 points. Like Frager's kind of got his swag back. Rank's got his swag back. Price is on fire. I mean, we were hitting our stride. Like, I mean, as far as like complete Nebraska games go, that was pretty freaking complete.
I think people will say, we're at our best when, and like a lot of people would argue, when we're balanced like this. I think that's true to a certain point, right? But I think when this happens and you win a game like this, it's because teams know how good Price is, right? Teams know what Rank can do. Now, the beauty of it is those guys still got what they needed to get done. But when you are focused on a couple of guys, and it does open stuff up for other players, right? And like Jamarcus did what he needed to do. Berke had a really damn good game. One of his best games he's played all year. It's one of those things that you open stuff up for others, and then those guys did their role. Now, Cale Jacobson struggled. Jared Garcia didn't play. And
thank God.
I just think that like that complete performance is what's like, okay, everybody did their part. They did their role. Now, it could be just, I'm not going to say Iowa's going to do this because they're definitely not. They're the opposite. But if you guard a different way, Price could go off and score 30. And the box score could look very different, but that's still good too. So again, how they were guarding us and the strategy, like when you win a game like that, that's what the box score is going to look like. And that's what makes it feel very complete and wholesome. Like everybody did their role.
Yeah, I would say, of the big takeaways from rounds 1 and 2 from this weekend was I feel like Frager's kind of got his mojo back. At least in these 2 games, he looked very confident. I know even in game 1 when he was missing his shots, he looked confident in taking the shots.
Right.
And then this one, he was getting to the cup. Cale, the first game he got in quick foul trouble, and the second game he just never got in rhythm. And I don't know if that's because I don't know why
Cale's not a superior athlete. I mean, he just, and those guys just ate him alive. I mean, that's the way to put it. And Cale, I think he'll be fine against Iowa. Like he will.
Yeah, that's true. The only reason I think he can keep up with them is because he kept up with Michigan, and I feel like Michigan's athletes are similar level.
Yeah.
Their point guard just was killing
Tyler Taylor quick. Yeah.
No,
not Tyler Taylor quick. So I mean that was part of it, but I don't know if anyone on our team really was. So hopefully he
And
kind of gets that figured out. But yeah, we'll get to Iowa.
and credit to Fred for figuring out that Kale didn't have it that game. So like not he pulled him pretty quick and didn't really play him that much after that. Like
Same thing he did with Jared Garcia in game one, where it's like
yeah,
every time Jared touched the ball, it's like, oh my, please get him out. And then he didn't come back in after his 4 minute stint in the first half.
I mean we're gonna need Kale against Iowa big time. So you hope he bounces back, but the way Burke played, like you said, I think that's his best game easily as a Husker he's had. Just
Well, he's
nailing those
had a
two
triple
threes.
double.
Okay, well, I guess all around, even if he's hitting a single three, like when that first three went up, you're like, oh my god,
See,
there's
but
please don't
I
shoot
don't want
this.
Barricade shooting. I know he hit it like
No,
2 for 2, but him
Yeah, I
pulling
hope that
those
doesn't
up,
give him false confidence for.
correct.
yeah, hopefully he's not coming out thinking he's going to shoot 8 threes next game, but he just played so smart and didn't take any dumb shots like he sometimes does, and yeah, him playing that well is I think one of the main reasons why we won that game because if he's scoring like you said, we are damn tough to beat.
Here's I'm not going to compare us to the really good Warriors team, but we have Klay Thompson on our team and Price Sanford. And I mean, Burke is Draymond Green. Like that's kind of the type of player as far as how he carries himself. That's who I kind of picture him as that
Really,
role.
I picture Sam more as our Draymond if we were to assign roles.
I got Sam as like Iggy.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, I think
Yeah.
if you're looking at that Warriors, I don't know if we have Steph, but
We don't have Steph. That's yeah.
I
No,
do
yeah, I
think
don't know where you.
that the team, you know, their roles, like that's Barricades' role, and he did it really, really well. And when he does it well, I think our team plays really well around it. So I guess after anything else on the game itself.
Well,
I will say the refs were bad. They were bad both ways, but there were some.
Here's my comment on the ref. Yeah, you go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
I would say the refs were bad. They were bad both ways. I don't think it ultimately determined the outcome of the game because it was a 1 point game. Yes, there was a double dribble by Jamarcus in the first half, but there were two really bad, like no contact calls on us, and the first basically 30 minutes of the game they did whatever they could do to Price. They let whatever fly. They tightened it up at the end because it was getting a little out of hand because they were pulling on Price like nobody's business.
Yes.
But
Dak, what your ref comment?
I mean, the refing that you said in the stands, Hunter, they did not have any clue what they were trying to do that first half at all, and they lost control of the game. The second half, they came out a lot better, I thought. It still wasn't great, but at least they were a little more consistent what they were calling. The first half, they're not consistent one bit. And I don't know how you're not prepared going into a tournament game like that, but yeah, that's my comment.
Yeah, they weren't making the game all about them, but the way that they lost control of the game, they then start having to pick and choose what they were going to call.
Yeah.
And when you start doing that, that's when you start getting fans on both ends frustrated because then you don't know how they're going to call the game, and coaches too, and players too. Like because they let so much stuff go early, and when I say stuff, it's a lot of times on them because they were playing a much more physical, aggressive defense on us, right? And the fouls got to be 3-0 pretty quickly. Their coach got pissed. I watched him put the 3-0 up to the ref and said the fouls are 3-0. Guess what? It flipped switch and went 8-5 the other direction by the 2 minutes left in the half. And the way that they were playing, that shouldn't have been the case, but it was because they got in trouble of how they were calling the game. You know, second half, I thought they came out right away. And like, I think 9 seconds ran up the clock and they called a hand check on them, right? Like, that's what was frustrating. Again, I agree. It was both ways, but it was not these fans have it out for Nebraska. That's never true. And in fact, the fun comment I heard, like the NCAA out of anybody wants Nebraska to win because they know that we're going to travel. They know that we're going to give more sales, ticket prices up. Like, so they never have it out for Nebraska. They lost control of that game in the first half, and it dictated how the game was going, and it was choppy and it wasn't fun to watch because it was pick and choose what you wanted to call and when you wanted to call it. Second half was much better. And actually, you know, we were up 7 in the first half after all that. Right. Like second half, they got a 5-point lead, and we even say the officiating was better. So, anyways, that was how I thought that one. I was very upset the first half too. They lost. It wasn't fun. It didn't let two teams do what they're comfortable doing.
Yeah.
What they got to that point for. Neither team was getting that. So, anyways, the game, got over. The atmosphere after the game, I'll never forget. Now, here's what's funny. For us, it was the first time really as at our age that's ever happened, right? I just turned 30. Austin's 30. Dak's 26.
7.
Okay. We've never lived this moment, and Husker fans themselves haven't lived this moment for decades, right? And I'm saying Husker fans in general because football, we've been trying to, but we can't.
Excluding
so
volleyball.
much emotion, just built up that after the game, and the first game was like this too, but the second game especially, everybody, I'm not kidding. I bet I high-fived over 1,000 people after the game, everywhere. I was hugging random people that I like. This guy's I saw him from college, Michael Cardell, Austin probably remembers him.
Oh, nice.
We made eye contact from 30 feet away outside the arena, and we just went and jumped into each other's arms and bro hugged for 15 seconds because we were so excited. I haven't talked to the kids since college. Just random moments like that you just had with so many fans and random fans, high fives. It just was so much emotion built up into one. And then the party ensued afterwards down in the Bricktown area with the jumping into the canals, the bars. I mean, bars that they started charging $20 covers to get in because they just couldn't let it was just crazy. Just again, can't describe it. You hope there's more moments like that to come. We've never lived it.
We hadn't lived it.
We hadn't lived it. Now we have. People that said that in the 90s that's kind of what winning national titles was like. That's what winning conference championships, things like that. Not we did that after every game, but big moments. That was the type of celebration. We just haven't been able to do that ever. And Husker fans are we're crazy. Dave Portnoy just put out how nuts we are, and people like that. They know that we're nuts, but until something like this happened and we could actually show how nuts we are after a win, you're holy crap.
I read an article in the Tennessee newspaper that was going around, and it was on the Nebraska subreddit. But in the article, they just kept you could tell you don't understand what the fan you had to be there to understand that it was not I know on TV they said it wasn't a home crowd or a neutral site, but you just can't understand the advantage that they got because of the crowd.
No.
And he said it over and over in this thing about the season, and in the article he talked about how Vanderbilt should have been higher seeded and blah blah blah.
Okay, yeah, here we go.
But he's well, I mean, it was it was a Tennessee newspaper. That's what Nebraska, Omaha does the same shit. But he's just you just don't understand.
The other fan thing that's fun to that I heard on 93.7 the ticket this morning too. Like Sipple said, the basketball crowd, especially their away crowd. I mean, let's go back to our crowd levels, right? As we've done this podcast through football season, you got the Memorial Stadium home football crowd, right? You have the away crowd for football games, which I would call younger people that really want to go spend the money. I would say the home Memorial Stadium crowd is a lot of people that just had season tickets forever, a lot of older people that sit there and cross their arms and sit during games. The reasons why we've talked in the past, how Memorial Stadium is not hostile to play in compared to other football places. We've talked about that, and it's still a true statement. You got a road football crowd, which I think is more energetic, more
a little better, but smaller.
Yep. You got our home basketball crowd that is a mix of the two, I think, right? I would say the game itself is basketball is a little more fast paced than football. It's not as long. But then you have the road
so long that the fans that do go are a little bit crazier about it. They're going because they love the team and the sport, not because we were once good. It's because we're Huskers and we freaking love Huskers.
Yep. So I would say volleyball, I would say is more towards football, but has some basketball. There's a little bit of mix there. But then this road basketball crowd is they said it best on the ticket. They said it's like a bunch of 35 to 45-year-olds on spring break without their wives. That's literally what it was. a bunch of dudes that were with a bunch of other dudes that wanted to go down and just get trashed drinking beer and going and cheering on their team. Like that was the majority. Now, obviously there were other people there too, but that was the majority of the crowd that went to this game. And so like, that's the type of environment that you can, if you're not understanding kind of what it was, that's what it was. It's a picture of a bunch of middle-aged dudes just pissed drunk and screaming at the top of their lungs constantly. That's what it was.
Now,
it was amazing. Like I don't even know what you could describe it or like compare it to. I have no idea.
Can we replicate it for Houston? That's the question.
Yeah.
So as we transition to that,
can I say one more thought about the Vanderbilt game?
No.
Yeah. Yes,
I've been just thinking. I've been just thinking back on it. How I was like, damn. Okay, Vanderbilt is a hell of a team. We just beat them. Like I'd put them up there with some of the better teams in the tournament I've watched. Like to win that game, I think Nebraska can easily go out and win any game left in this tournament.
Easily.
Yeah,
You want to put a half marathon bet on that?
I don't, but
I mean, I would say this: we were the two. I think the end of the season we were 13th and 14th in the polls, right? Like that's what that was. That was a battle of two teams that, who do you want to put above the other? I don't know. And do I think that we're at the level of the 1 and 2 seeds? I don't think so. Might get proved wrong here in the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I mean we're right there. We're a top 15 team, and we're in the top 16 teams left in the tournament.
Yep.
So, obviously, yeah, drive back on Sunday. Most fans did then after the game, and we watched last night on Sunday night the Iowa-Florida game where Iowa was up and then Florida creeped back and took the lead, and Iowa hung on. It's a big 3 at the end to win it and move on to the Sweet 16. Games in Houston here on Thursday. So, we're doing this podcast Monday night. The game is scheduled for Thursday evening. Game 1 of the session, game 2 of the session is Houston, Illinois. If you haven't looked at ticket prices, who knows what they'll be when you're listening to it, but currently they are at $550 to get in the door just to enter. So it's going to be crazy. I think the concern that Austin texted too, obviously it's twice the drive, right? If you're going to drive, a lot of Husker fans will fly. What will the appearance be from Husker Nation down in Houston? It's going to be strong. We know that, but what can it look like? What can we do? Houston's going to have a lot of tickets too. We can't get outmatched by Iowa, right? Like that's a big competition.
Luckily, we had a whole extra day. I say traveled, same problem for Iowa. We had a whole extra day to buy tickets than they did, so that helps.
And Iowa, I would say, probably didn't travel like we did to Tampa. I know they didn't.
No. Well, that's what I'm worried. Did we smoke it all? We smoked it and got them. Like, did we play our card?
Are people? I mean, again, are they? I'll say it. Like, are people worn out? Right? Or are they not? Maybe not mentally, but as far as financially, are they worn out?
Financial and PTO, and I mean that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I smoked it all I got. I went for the first one and. Maybe the final, then you got to save. It's like, well, if we make the Final Four, I can't go to this one and the Final Four.
Well, I mean, I was kind of the same boat. What I would say, I have a great manager at work, and I hopped on, and he asked how the trip was, and I said, oh, it was a blast, probably one of the most fun weekends I've ever had. At a sporting event, and he goes, so you're planning to go Thursday, right? And I was like, all right, I'm ready, I'm approved. So, yeah, I'll be curious to see like what that I don't know. Obviously, it's not going to be OKC, and it's not going to be like that.
You can't replicate.
No chance. Especially with Houston being there in that session, but we're going to show up strong. We better be. My one thing is I don't know what the Houston thing will look like, but we better freaking have more fans in Iowa. Like that's my one thing too. That's like we're not just in a Sweet 16 game. We're playing Iowa. Like
You couldn't have drawn up any better.
Like it's our rival, right? That we played twice and two already this year, 1-1 with them.
Both those games were about as close as they can get. Yeah. Oh, it sickens me. I am terrified. I am so scared of Iowa.
The amount of bar fights that could happen before the game. That number is so high. Like that's why I'm like, I can't miss it. Like I can't. If I can't find anybody to go, I'll drive down by myself. I think I have to go. I have to be there.
I don't blame you.
Have to be there.
If I didn't have a wife and child,
I know, and then the different life scenario there. That's
not that obviously blessed to have them, but
if some people had a stabilized job and didn't get fired in the last year, maybe they would have enough money to go to.
Are you talking about Austin or what?
Yeah.
No, I think
go for it,
I do think Iowa's going to bring a good amount of fans to this now because, I mean, even Tampa, I think for being in Tampa, they had a decent amount of fans, but Nebraska fans are going to outnumber them probably 3-1. I would say. I don't think they're going to bring as many fans just because they're 9 seed too. I don't.
Like I said, I think part of it was we had a whole extra day to buy tickets. Houston fans already bought tickets, and it's in their hometown. So they were getting, and they were the last game Sunday night. So I mean, they're getting what's left. You have the super fans that hopped on it, but
what's gonna be even crazier. Me and Hunter talked about this, which we'll move on to we'll talk about the Iowa game. But say Nebraska and Houston win, what is the spread going to be in that game? Husker fans to Houston fans.
Houston would probably kill us. It's in their backyard.
Yeah, no, yeah, Houston will be favored. I mean, by 6.5, 7. I mean, they will.
No, I was talking about like fans. We'll be like more Husker fans there than Houston fans. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, I think Houston will have a bunch. Their fan base was the second most, I would say, in OKC, right? Like I think of all
they have a good following.
So we'll see. I think that could be interesting. I think there also are some Husker fans that if we were to beat Iowa on Thursday, that they will fly down on Friday to go to the game Saturday. I think that's also
gotta have the flights available though. There's limited flights out of Omaha.
Yep, there are.
I know the nonstop already is completely sold out for Wednesday, and then it was like $700 for the 12-hour layover through Dallas or something. Like they're drying up.
Yeah, I mean those are going to be tight. I think that's driving is not fun that far, but I think
great podcast time.
It is. I have some shows I got to get caught up on. I got to watch. I want to rewatch our game still. I got to watch the new Peaky Blinders movie. I don't know if you guys watched that. I got to get caught up on some stuff, so it'll be good. But yeah, the Iowa game itself. Let's go there a little bit. How do you guys feel? I mean, we're now, I think 1.5 is what I saw a few hours ago. It opened at 2.5 for us being favored. Obviously we're 1-1 against them. They got us pretty good out in Iowa City. We were up pretty good in Lincoln, and then they came back, went to overtime there at the end of the year, and found a way to win.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I like that people. That I think our advantage for our team specifically in this tournament was people didn't know what to. It's like, wow, Price's shot does go off quicker than you think. And the way their defense interacts, and it is a little bit more complicated than you think. And so if you haven't seen it before, it can catch you off guard, which I think is what happened to Vanderbilt in the first half. In addition to the, because we talked about how the reffing was bad in the first half against us, and we still had some 7-point lead. But Iowa's seen us twice, and it's been basically even. I know we lost by 5 the first game, but we were down. They basically hit a 3-pointer to take the lead, and then we had a foul, which gave them that 5-point after we missed a shot, which gave them the 5-point lead. And Ben McCollum's such a freaking good coach.
Yeah,
I'm so scared. So scared. And
we were texting last night. Would you have rather played Florida?
Yes, 100%. I would take, because it goes from you're playing with house money, you lose to the 1 seed, you lose to the reigning champ, you feel a little bit better in the Sweet 16. If we lose in the Sweet 6, now all the pressure shifts to us. If we lose to the Sweet
Yeah.
16 against Iowa, that's gonna hurt so freaking bad. And before it's like if we lost, it's like, well, they probably should have. Now we're the favorite against a team that we've already beaten, so we know that we can beat them, but they've also beaten us, so they know they can beat us. Oh, it makes me sick.
That's one way of looking at it, right? Like, if you want to look at the end of the season and how that could have gone, it's spot on. Like, now it is. If we lose to Iowa, you're just like, not these losers again. Like,
you feel sick. You're not celebrating
sucks.
the Sweet 16. You're mourning the loss to Iowa in the Sweet 16.
It wouldn't completely ruin the season, but it'd be close. Like, it would suck that bad.
This though, I think we have a better chance at beating them. If we would have played Florida, we would have been a 6.5, 7.5, 8.5 point underdog. We're favored against Iowa. I think as far as our chances to win, they're better. Now, obviously, we can lose a game, but they're better to beat Iowa, and we have a better chance of getting to the Elite Eight. And then who the hell knows? Illinois beats Houston. I think we can maybe beat Houston. I don't know. Whatever. But I think your chances now are starting to look. Now, when you look at Iowa, you say, okay, shit, we can make a run here. Who the hell knows where this could end up by the end of the year? That's why I'm like, okay, I still think if you had to pick one, I'm still picking Iowa. I'm everything you said, Austin. I'm terrified. Like, Ben McCollum is very. At first, we knew he was a good coach at Drake, and some of the players that he brought over. He's every bit of what you want in a basketball coach as far as the game planning and scheming and culture and just the toughness and grittiness. I mean, God, they went from old Fran McCaffrey and what he was trying to do, and now their coaches like their goddamn football team. Like, their basketball team plays like a football team, and it's just annoying, and they win, and they're so well coached and put together, and like, that's the kind of team they are. Here's what gives me hope and encouragement. I also think Nate Lesnar and Fred Hoiberg are just as good. So, yes, while I do think McCollum is going to have a lot of stuff and adjustments and tweaks and things, like, we also know exactly what they have to, and we're also good at making adjustments and tweaking and doing some of those things to get them out of them being comfortable. So that's what gives me hope, is like, yeah, we have played them twice. Yeah, they know a lot about us, but guess what? We know a lot about them too. And we have some damn good coaches as well, that it's not like we got to go against somebody that's like, we just don't have the athlete to match up with him. Like, I think with Florida, there have been a couple of those guys have been like, we just don't have the firepower, the manpower to keep them off the offensive glass. Iowa, I think we know what they have, right? We've seen them so much. We know we're going to know what adjustments we need to make if such is not working. That's what gives me hope in this game. And I think that, we can get it done.
Here's why I'm very confident in this game, because you were talking about how you smoked them when you got them again with the OKC going there, whatever. I think Iowa just played their best game they could have ever played. Now, I'm going to say this, they're probably going to come out and shoot like 85% from three, but I do not think they can play any better than they did against Florida. So I think they already burned that game.
That's what you say, but Ben Mertz, what's his name? Ben
Sturts.
Sturts. There we go.
Yeah, he didn't. That's one part that does scare me. Yeah, he did not play well. Yeah, he did not play well. So if the role players play that well again, then I'm gonna be shitting bricks, because we're probably gonna lose. But I'm rolling with that they're not going to, and we can control Sturts enough to where I think we win this game by 10 plus. I really do.
Oh boy, Dak,
I think we're just that much better than Iowa.
Gotta knock on wood. Why? We literally lost to them, and then we had to go to overtime to beat them, and we had to have like a Cale Jacobson game where we just talked about he's not an offensive player, and he went like 3 for 3 for.
So I will say what I think, Dak, when we went to that second game and watched it,
we blew that.
Oh, we
should have won regulation.
Better than them for 90% of that game. And like, it was like we had figured out and adjusted to what they did the first game. Like, we knew how to counter that, and it was working, and we were ahead by 10 to 15 points. Like, I think that's kind of the point now. We blew the end of the game and missed free throws and turned the ball over several times and still found a way to win it. But so I think that's kind of what he's saying.
does that put the arrow their way though? Because now they need to know where they need to adjust, but we don't
Correct.
because we really didn't see what was working for them because it didn't work until we stopped performing.
Right. Yeah. Game of
Now
chess. The game of chess.
I hate it.
Here's where
I'm
reffing comes into
sick.
it again. It's also big how this game's gonna be reffed. If the refs let them play physical, that favors Iowa so much more than us.
That's true.
That's
Spot on.
the reffing's gonna be very big on this. Because that game at home when we lost Iowa, they let Iowa play as physical as they wanted. And that's the way they want to play right there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess they're gonna let us be more physical. I'm gonna let that.
Yeah,
I'm just calling it right now.
Tournament game, I think that's
Tournament
right.
game.
I also am curious with the backlash of this game, though, and I'm just going to say off-ball type of stuff, right, with how Vandy was guarding Sanford and how they put a couple whistles on those. I mean, how do you guard a shooter like Sanford? You got to chase the guy, and you got to just – if he catches it and he's got a glimpse, it's going up, and it's probably going in. Like, you have to guard him like you do Steph and Clay, where you got to be on his hip constantly. Iowa did it the first time. And I remember that game, how physical it was. He thought he was getting held. It was just like the start of the Vandy game.
Yep.
The first game against Iowa, they also killed us on the boards.
They did, and they held their own against Florida too on the boards as well. And
yeah,
that's going to be a big thing to watch. I thought we did a pretty damn good job against Vanderbilt on the boards overall. Like I think that was a big reason why we won that game. So it's a game of chess. It's Iowa, Nebraska. It's so fun. It's great. I can't miss it in person. I'm gonna have to go regardless. I don't how
gonna be so nervous.
Plans are. I don't know. I don't have a schedule. I don't know anything, but I'm gonna have to go down there no matter what. So if anybody wants to go with me, let me know.
I want to. I cannot.
I know Dak.
Nope, I'm out. I do know a coworker that just bought tickets for $2,500. So.
Oh my gosh.
They're still rolling, guys. Too. I mean, while we were sitting here, there right now. I think I just saw Ticketmaster's getting close to $6.
Yeah, he was telling me to find him tickets that were under $1,000, and I found him $800 ones. He comes back out later and said, "Yeah, I just bought $2,500 tickets." I'm like, "Okay, well."
I really think
have fun.
I do too. I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait it out. Have a little idea of a side of way to get into. So
we waited till basically Wednesday night to buy ours for the first round, and we got. I mean, it was club seats. We had our own bar, and it was like $150. So pretty good deal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing, and this is just looking ahead. Say beat Iowa, I don't want to play either of those two teams. Those two, Illinois and Houston, are freaking scary. I think Houston has looked like the best team in the tournament so far.
I am more scared of Iowa than I am of either of those teams.
Okay, that's wild to say, but
I am. If we lose to Iowa in the Sweet 16,
that's how you're thinking of it, though. Like you're thinking of it if we lose. Like if you're just taking all out of it, which you can't, but if you're taking all out of it, we had the better chance of beating Iowa, right? Like
over Florida, yes. You're not the spread right now. We're 1.5 point favorites against Florida. We're probably $5.5.
You're right. Just losing to them in the Sweet 16s. Let's just not do that. Let's just freaking beat them.
Yes, but if I lost to Florida, it's like, man, what a great season. We really put it out there. We lost to a really good Florida team. If we go and lose to freaking Iowa in the Sweet 16, it's like, man, remember that year that just got tainted by losing to freaking Iowa in the Sweet 16?
It's like you'd be at the water cooler at somebody at work and be like, gosh, I remember like 7 years ago that how great this was. Oh, that's so fun. And the Iowa fan from across, and you lost to Iowa. And we're being like, yes. Shut up.
Like if I lose to Houston or Illinois, so be it. But if it's got to be,
let's just say it. Bennett Sturt's the most overrated player in the nation. You'll never shoot that good again in Iowa. You guys are going to get your ass kicked.
Thanks, Dak.
He's a projected lottery draft pick.
Is he really?
Yes.
I saw it today.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you suck ass, Bennett Sturts. Okay.
I love it. Guys, great time to be alive. I think it again, one of our more enjoyable pods and weekends, I guess, weeks of being a Husker fan. And you hope this especially for the basketball program, start something that could be a little more of a routine.
This has to be the best feeling pod we've had, like excitement wise.
Yeah. Hey,
The Colorado game was pretty high, but this is definitely.
I don't even want to bring this up, but I'm just going to throw in a little comment in here about how I think this could help the football team. Here's what's great about
no
this.
one's talking about football.
Yes, our football team has no attention right now. Rule is getting just kicked out. Rule was at the game. I didn't even know. None of my social media
I have no clue
about that. Like, he's just getting kind of, no one's talking about it. And I think that only is going to help our football team because they can freaking shut up and quit being all about the hype and flash and freaking go to work and find a way to win some games. Now, I don't know if that's going to be next year, but I do think that lack of attention that they're getting, all the stuff that we've talked about, we've said the problem with the hype and the expectations and all of that. The basketball team had none, zero. We were picked 14th to win in the Big Ten. Like, I said we were going to be horrible, right? Like, all of that stuff allows you then to say, all right, like, use that as momentum and play. Everybody thinks we're going to suck. Let's be the underdog and just go out and do what we know how to do. I think that football maybe could take some of that potentially this year and run with it. Now, we'll see. The spring game is this weekend, right?
I think
this weekend.
Yeah, it is Saturday.
I think it is this weekend.
Get out of here.
It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Yeah. So here's the crazy part: is Nebraska wins this game come Saturday, it's gonna be a spring game and Elite Eight game. No one is going to be talking about football that day. It's all going to be basketball.
No. That's what's funny. And again, I think that's good for the football team. Like, I really do. And now I don't know if the football team is going to be very good. I don't know. Our win total is 5.5 that came out. But I did want to throw that out there that this is all awesome. And I think it could have double impact come the fall potentially. If Rule actually is a good coach. The worst comments I've seen is, see, we need to give Rule more time like Fred. I'm like, people.
Think about how crazy that is. Austin didn't even know the spring game was this Saturday. That's how much these sports have flipped.
It just hit me because it was. I remember saying Sweet 16. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's right, spring game.
I don't think I'm going to care either way, even if Nebraska's not playing the Elite Eight about the spring game. But I might tune in a little bit. I might tune in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any. Yeah, there's no football talk. None.
People are maybe trying to but it's all overshadowed right now. Again, that's the glory and the fun that we're living in right now with the basketball team, that it's all overshadowed and whatever news there is out there, it's kicked down the curb. The thing about past years at this time, right? Like
we're all aboard the hype train by this point.
Hype train, or we're we're talking about spring football and what's right. Like I know nothing, right? So yeah, maybe hit a hidden gem in there at the football program as well, thanks to the basketball program. So
well, Dak, if you don't watch the spring game, who's going to come on the pod and say TJ Lateef is better than Dylan Raiola?
What are you talking about? I'm gonna watch a spring game.
I'll watch the spring game too.
Well, I will not care, especially if it's Elite Eight Nebraska. I will not take away anything from that game. Like, if Landry comes out, throws 6 picks, it will not ruin my mood that day.
If I could redo this last weekend, I would have gone down and watched the Nebraska. Did you think about watching the baseball game? They played in Wichita State on Wednesday.
I didn't know it was happening. I would have done that too if I were to read it. Yeah.
I didn't find out about it until I had already planned on leaving too late. But I was like, man, that would have been fun too.
Baseball team's playing well too. They're
top 25.
Good things here to start the year. So yeah, ranked as well. So.
And the women's team lost, and Amy Williams is going to get another year.
Yep.
And I think that's probably it. Sorry, Amy. I wanted it to work.
But Greg McDermott's not. See ya.
Retiring. Do you think he's actually retiring? Is he going to coach somewhere else?
I think he's actually done.
I think he's done too. That's my thought.
I think so too.
All right.
When times get tough, you win. Never mind.
All right. Final pick. Iowa. What do we think the score is?
I'll go 60. 6-62 Nebraska.
Dak.
68-56 Nebraska.
Okay, that's more than 10. You said you did. I think it's going to be 65-63 Iowa.
Wow. You are really scared of this game.
Yeah, because I've watched 2 games against Iowa, and I thought Iowa looked really freaking good.
See that second game, I didn't think they did. I thought we just
And then
blew
I
it.
watched them beat up Florida, who I thought Florida looked really freaking good.
Yeah.
Let's just forget about that game.
They beat up Florida. Now Florida realized that they were better athletes in the second half, but it was a little bit too late. But I mean, they went toe to toe with Florida.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody down in Houston on the way to Sweet 16, Elite 8. To just keep chipping away one game at a time, one possession.
One more thing, I just thought of it. Okay, I feel better now. I know you're about to sign off. But Vandy did beat Florida by 20 in the SEC tournament.
Yeah. Killed them.
And so if Iowa beat Florida by 1 and we beat Vandy by 1, that means we should win by like 16.
16. That's the math.
Here's what's going to happen, Austin, and then we'll sign off. Bennett Sturt's going to get locked his ass up by Caleb Jacobson and Sam Hoiberg. He's going to do nothing. And those other guys are not going to make those shots.
Thanks, Dak.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's see you all in Houston. GBR.
Let's go. Go Big Red.